to the domestic cases we have with putting your hands on a woman are two totally different things to me, unquote. Adrian Peterson was a star tailback. He was charged with a felony for using a tree branch to spank his 4-year-old son, and Minnesota placed him on the exempt commissioner's permission list Wednesday morning, which bars him from the team's facility while dealing with the case until further notice. It's possible Peterson will miss the rest of the season while the case proceeds through the court system. Calvin Johnson said, "It's unfortunate for him, such a good guy, just from being around him, to see something like this happen. To see something like this happen. Interrupt his season. Interrupt his season. You're used to seeing the guy put up big numbers. This was probably going to be another big season for him, so you hate to see something like that happen to him," unquote. Johnson was then asked about growing up in a disciplined home and said that he would discipline his children as well, though he didn't elaborate on whether that meant physical discipline. The Peters situation is very unfortunate. Then you have pictures come out and it's even worse. "I'm going to discipline my kids and can't tell no one how to discipline my kids." Like I say, that's not my situation right now. My situation would be private. It's not a public matter when you discipline your family. But unfortunately for him, it has become that. Like I say, I don't think there's anything wrong with disciplining your child. It teaches them discipline at the same time, and we all need that. Lions tailback Reggie Bush found himself making national news Tuesday after making similar comments during an interview with WFAN in New York. He told the station he was disciplined physically as a kid and would do the same with his daughter. Deadspin had a headline that reads, "Reggie Bush admits to harshly disciplining his 1-year-old daughter." And Reggie says that is taking his quote out of context. Bush said, quote, "The way I discipline my children, my daughter, I should have kept it private. And obviously I think some of the words got taken out of context." Bush told a large group of reporters in the locker room Wednesday afternoon, and that's fine. That happens all the time. Obviously, I'm not going to be spanking a one year old girl, but we do discipline her a little bit. It's funny she does this thing now. It's funny she does this thing now. It's funny she does this thing now where. It's funny she does this thing now where if she doesn't like something or you say something to her that she doesn't like, she kind of swings at you. So we're already starting to implement little things just talking to her like, "Hey, that's not okay," stuff like that. I think obviously people took it too far and said I was doing much worse to her, and that's not the case. Bush said his mother was a police officer who spanked him as a child, though they were called whoopings in the house, and he credits that discipline for helping to make him the man he is today. Bush said, quote, "I got whooped. A lot of guys I grew up with, or a lot of people who are my age or older, understand how the punishment back then worked. Obviously, times have changed, and I think obviously there are different ways to parent your child and better handle certain situations. But yeah, I got whoopings from my mom, unquote. It was something I did wrong, and obviously when you do something wrong, you get in trouble for it. Forget this. That's enough Lions talk anyway. Let's talk some hockey. The Detroit Red Wings have announced their 2014 training camp schedule and roster. First for Team Del Vecchio, forwards Joachim Anderson, Luis Mark Aubry, Tyler Pertuzzi, Colin Campbell, Pavel Datsuk, Darren Helm, Jeff Hogan, Tomas Yurko, Anthony Mantha, Zach Nastasiuk, Kevin Porter, Timu Pulkkinen, Jerome Verrier. Defensemen, Danny DeKaiser, Jakob Kindle, Brian Lashoff, Alexei Marchenko, Mark McNulty, Richard Nedamlil. Goaltenders, Jimmy Howard and Jared Coro. Team Howe, forwards, Andreas Athanasio, Mitch Callahan, Dan Cleary, Johan Franzen, Martin Firk, Luke Glendenning, Alden Hirschfeld, Darby Llewellyn, Drew Miller, Tomas Nosek, Brandon Robinson, Merrick Tiverdon, and Henrik Zetterberg. Defensemen, Matthias Backman, Brennan Evans, Joe Hicketts, Xavier Ouellet, Kyle Quincy, Aaron Rome, and Brendan Smith. Goaltenders, Jonas Gustafsson and Tom McCollum. Team Lindsay. Forwards, Justin Abdelkader, Tyler Barnes, Blake Clark, Landon Ferraro, Hayden Hodgson, Andre Nestrasil, Gustav Nyquist, wearing my lucky number 14, Riley Sheehan, Tomas Tatar, Dominic Turgeon, Stephen Weiss, and Mark Zengerle. Defensemen, Jonathan Erickson, Nick Jensen, Nicholas Cronwall, Nathan Page, Ryan Sproul, Ty Stanton, and Mitchell Wheaton. Goaltenders, Peter Mrazek, Jake Patterson, and Lucas Peresini. That concludes the list. That does it for episode 65 of Taylor's Detroit Sports. I'll be back with episode 66 Thursday night. It's Taylor Phillips saying TTFN, ta-ta for now.